Imagine arriving for work one morning only to discover your security cameras recorded things that no employee remembers seeing. That's exactly the mystery surrounding the Museum of Curiosities in Nottingham, England, a museum already famous for displaying some of the world's strangest and most unusual artifacts. According to the staff, unusual activity had become impossible to ignore. Objects were reportedly shifting after closing time, unexplained noises echoed through the building, and more than one employee claimed they constantly felt watched whenever they were alone. Hoping to uncover the truth, cameras were installed throughout the museum. It didn't take long before the footage gave everyone something to talk about. In one recording, a wispy cloud-like shape suddenly drifts through the main exhibition hall. It doesn't behave like ordinary dust or smoke. Instead, it appears to move with surprising direction before fading from view without leaving a trace. Then came the second clip. A camera monitoring the museum's basement, where many of the rarest artifacts are kept, captures what looks like a lone figure quietly standing inside a doorway. It remains there for only a brief moment, then slowly disappears, as if it was never there to begin with. The museum insists the cameras were functioning normally, despite their lower image quality, and maintains that no one entered either area during the recordings. Of course, there are plenty of possible explanations. Camera compression, lighting conditions, or even airborne particles can sometimes create surprisingly convincing illusions. But if I worked the night shift there, and saw that on the CCTV monitor, I'm not investigating. The artifacts can lock up the museum themselves. I'm already halfway to the parking lot. Have you ever had the strange feeling that someone was standing nearby, even though the room was completely empty? Most of us brush that feeling off and move on. But one Reddit user couldn't. The sensation followed him day after day inside his own home, leaving him convinced that something unseen was sharing the space with him. Eventually, curiosity outweighed doubt, so he grabbed a camera and decided to record. While filming, everything looked perfectly normal. The house appeared exactly as it always had. No strange noises, no unexpected movement, nothing that suggested anyone or anything was there. It wasn't until he replayed the footage frame by frame that the mystery began. Hidden within the recording, a dark shape seems to drift through the room, almost blending into the background. At first it's barely noticeable, looking more like a fleeting shadow than a solid figure, but the longer you watch, the more defined it appears, moving in a way that has left countless viewers searching for an explanation. Was it simply a trick created by lighting, camera compression, or the power of suggestion? Or did the camera reveal something the human eye was never meant to notice? Every parent expects the occasional surprise when there's a baby in the house. But this family's experience was unlike anything they could have imagined. A mother named Courtney was casually recording inside her living room when her baby's empty car seat suddenly began moving in a way she says no one could explain.
literally nothing here. My baby is sleeping. Don't have a remote, just did something.
At first, the strange movement was unsettling enough. Then the family dog changed everything. Instead of acting normally, the dog became unusually alert, staring toward an area where nothing could be seen. It slowly backed away, growling as if it was watching something invisible move through the room. Just days later, the situation reportedly became even more disturbing. Without warning, a baby bottle suddenly launched from a nearby surface and crashed onto the floor only a short distance from where Courtney was sitting. That was all the proof she needed. Wasting no time, she picked up her baby and rushed out of the house, unwilling to find out what might happen next. Since then, no further updates have been shared about what became of the home, or whether the unexplained activity ever stopped. Maybe there was a perfectly ordinary cause hidden just outside the camera's view. Or maybe the dog noticed something long before the family did. Either way, if my dog starts growling at an empty corner and bottles begin throwing themselves around, I'm trusting the dog. He officially owns the house now. Here's the strange part about haunted attractions. People willingly pay to be terrified. But what if the scariest thing inside wasn't part of the performance? That's the mystery surrounding McKellen Horror Nights, a haunted attraction with a reputation that extends beyond its actors and special effects. Employees have reportedly shared stories of strange voices, props moving without anyone nearby, and an uneasy feeling that someone is watching them after the doors close for the night. One evening, a staff member stayed behind to prepare the attraction for the next day's visitors. As she walked through a storage room packed with old mannequins and horror props, everything seemed completely normal. Until one of the mannequins moved. At first, its head appears to shift only slightly, just enough to make the employee stop in her tracks. She stares at it, probably wondering if her eyes are playing tricks on her. Then the mannequin slowly turns its head even farther. That was enough. She immediately ran from the room, leaving the silent figure exactly where it stood. According to the security footage, no other person was inside the building, and there were no visible mechanisms or wires that could explain the movement. Of course, maybe there's a simple answer that the camera failed to capture. But if a mannequin ever decides to make eye contact with me, it just got promoted to Employee of the Month, because I'm handing in my resignation. Some investigations begin with high expectations, others end with investigators wishing they had never shown up. This case reportedly unfolded on June 22nd, when paranormal explorer Rafael Berber and his team entered one of Brazil's oldest cemeteries, where graves dating back to the 1800s have fueled eerie local legends for generations. The night remained quiet as they searched the cemetery, expecting little more than strange sounds or unexplained shadows. Instead, the investigation took a far more unsettling turn.
Ai, Rafa do céu.
O que foi, caramba?
Alguma coisa me puxou.
Deixa eu ver. Aqui. Puxou?
Puxou. Ai, gente. Me puxou. Olha aqui. Grava isso aqui.
Cara, será que pegou na câmera outra?
Olha aqui.
Galera, disse que puxou ela, eu tenho que ver na outra câmera.
Olha aqui.
Bem lá onde
Gente.
apareceu, hein? Cara. A gente decidiu sair porque a água atacou a Bia.
Pegou aqui sim, me puxou.
Puxou ela e ela tá assustada. Quem não estaria assustado?
As Raphael's co-investigator paused beside an old headstone, the camera appeared to capture something brushing against the back of her shirt. Frame by frame, it almost resembles a faint hand reaching out from the darkness, before disappearing without a trace. Locals have long shared stories about the cemetery's original groundskeeper, claiming his spirit still watches over the property and doesn't appreciate late-night visitors. Whether that's folklore or coincidence, the timing certainly caught everyone's attention. Thinking the worst was over, the team moved toward an abandoned house standing beside the cemetery, a location they believed was connected to a spirit they had encountered during an earlier investigation. That's when the atmosphere changed again.
Ô Lúcia, você que passou aqui, que ela viu, tá mexendo a porta. A porta tá mexendo, olha. Parou aqui. Quem é você? Olha lá.
Credo, Rafa, não vai lá perto.
Eu vou lá pra pessoal ver. Galera, olha isso. Tem nada aqui embaixo. Tem ninguém ali, ó. Olha isso.
Credo, Rafa, o que foi isso?
Desliga o REM-pod aqui, por favor. Quero ver o que tem aqui. Tem nada aqui, ó. Tá, Prila. Tá um gelo aqui perto, Bia.
Credo, Rafa, eu vi passar do teu lado.
Galera, isso aqui é... Quando faz isso aqui, cara, é uma coisa muito ruim. Eita. Tá vendo a maçaneta?
Credo, Rafa do céu.
Olha lá. Ó, devagarzinho. Olha isso. Tem alguma coisa atrás?
Não.
Their equipment suddenly became active, while a nearby door began moving on its own with surprising force. Even more unsettling, a closer look at the footage appears to show the door handle slowly shifting by itself, despite no one standing near it. But the investigation wasn't finished.
Ai, caramba, Bia, tem uma mão ali, cara.
Rafa do céu, o que foi aquilo? Meu Deus do céu, Rafa.
A gente viu uma mão ali, Bia. Cadê? Capaz do cuidado aqui, Bia. Chegou a ver também.
Vi, me assustei.
Nossa, cara, que estranho. vi lá. Caiu faz anos atrás. Vocês estão risada? Nossa!
Meu Deus, quem foi aqui?
Eu vou passando pra lá assim.
As the team scanned the building one final time, the camera briefly caught what looked like a hand pressed against the window, accompanied by something resembling strands of hair, before both vanished back into the darkness. Maybe every moment has a perfectly ordinary explanation waiting to be uncovered. Or maybe some places don't mind visitors. They just don't like them leaving without saying hello.